Okay, I got a pretty lengthy one here. We have x to the 6th plus 7x cubed minus 8 is equal to 0. So how do we deal with this? Now, I'm going to rewrite this as x, let's see. I'm going to write it as, x cubed. Yes. Raised to the 2nd power plus, okay, just rewriting this part here. Let's let u equal x cubed. So now we substitute in, so we have u squared plus 7u minus 8 equals 0. Okay, equals 0. So now we can go ahead and we should be able to factor this pretty easily. Let's see. Two numbers multiplied together gives us -8, and when we add them we get 7. Probably 8 and 1. Let's make this positive and that negative. So u times u is u squared, minus u plus 8u is 7u, and 8 times -1 is -8. Alright, now setting each one of these factors equal to 0 will be our next move. So we have u is equal to -8 and u is equal to 1. Okay, now remember what u was equal to up here. X cubed. So now let's go back. So we have x cubed is equal to -8 and x cubed is equal to 1. I'm going to rewrite this. This is x cubed plus 8 is equal to 0. Alright, so this can be rewritten as x cubed plus 2 cubed. Okay, the sum of 2 cubes, and there was a formula that we used. I think it was in intermediate algebra we talked about this. Alright, so to factor this is x plus 2 times x squared. Now you're going to write whatever the opposite sign is here, and then whatever this number is times this number, and then this is always plus, and then you square that, so that's a 4. Okay, so the first factor, set that equal to 0, and we get x is equal to -2. So that should be one of our solutions. Now we must find the solution for this one. So we have x squared minus 2x plus 4. Set that equal to 0. Now I'm here to tell you that this particular one here we need to use the quadratic formula. Okay, x is equal to, so our a is 1, our b is this -2, and c is going to be 4. Right, so we want to plug it into this formula here called the quadratic formula over 2a. Alright, so let's do that. So we have b, which is -2, so we're going to have -2. There's a negative out here, so don't forget that. Plus or minus, so we have b squared is -2 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 4, and that's all over 2a, which is 1. Go ahead and write that. Okay, so we simplify this. We have a negative and a negative, so that makes that positive. Plus or minus. Okay, what do we got? 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So we're going to have 4 minus 16 is -12. And remember, that's all over 2, right? 4 minus 16. Yeah, that should be -12. If I got that right. Okay. Now, simplifying this down, we're going to get 2 plus or minus. Now, 12 is 4 times 3, and we can take the square root of 4, which is just 2. So we're going to bring that out. Alright, and of course this is over 2 over 2, so this reduces down to 1 plus or minus the square root of 3i. Okay, 1 plus or minus the square root of 3i. So there's 2 solutions. But you know what? We're not done with this problem. So we got 2 solutions. That's a real solution. That's 3 solutions. We still got to deal with this guy. Okay, so let's just go down here and rewrite that. So x cubed minus, wait a minute. Yeah, we're going to bring this 1 over to the left. X cubed minus 1 is equal to 0. So once again, this can be rewritten. You can think of it this way. Okay, this is the difference of 2 cubes. So this is x minus 1 times x squared. Now whatever this sign is, it's the opposite here. And you take this number, multiply it by that number. 1 times x is x. This is always a plus here. And then you square that number, which is 1. So we're going to get a real solution out of this. We set this first factor equal to 0. And we get x is equal to 1 as one of the solutions. Okay, so there's a solution. Now, we got to come over here and look at this one here. So once again, we'll rewrite this. Set it equal to 0. We'll need to use the quadratic formula. So a is equal to 1, that's that coefficient out in front. Coefficient out in front of this x. And this constant is 1. So once again, we'll rewrite this negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and it's all over 2a. Now that needs to be, let's rewrite that. That's negative b. Okay, plugging everything into our formula here. So b is 1, so that's going to be negative 1 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 1 squared, minus 4ac. It's all over 2 times 1. Okay. So we have x is equal to negative 1 plus or minus the square root. So we have 1, this 1 squared is 1, minus 4 times 1 times. So this is going to be 4. So 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Alright, remember it's all over 2. Just 2 times 1 is 2. So this can be rewritten negative 1 plus or minus, this is going to be the square root of 3i. Okay, you can break this up if you want, like this, or leave it, with a denominator of 2. We're going to go ahead and get it into that standard form, a plus or minus bi. Okay, so we want to get it in that form there. Okay, so what were our solutions? Well, we had negative 2, if you remember, our first one, and then we had 1 plus or minus the square root of 3i, and then this last one we had 1, and now this right here we have negative a half plus or minus the square root of 3 over 2. I said what and didn't do. I said it, but I didn't do it. Alright. How many solutions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And of course, that's what we started off with a long time ago, right? Okay. 6 degrees, 6 solutions. Alright, well, I think we're going to end it there. That was kind of long. Anyway, there's where we are. See you in the next video.